guys, and welcome back to the hot seat. We're going to jump right into our first guest. She is a returning guest and also a host on social media shows. She is one of the 3 hosts on Striptee, and I get to have her here sitting on the hot seat. And it's going to be my first time interviewing somebody that's already been interviewed by me on a show on this channel. So everyone, please welcome the amazing powerhouse singer, Celina Sasso. Yes, queen, hug.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Take a seat. Okay. So we actually just got done filming another episode of Striptee, which was beyond amazing.
Yes, we did.
It was brand new. It was great. It was revamped. It was everything we could wish for. And the last episode when we all met you, we kind of went into how you started, what you normally sing, your residency at the time. But let's get into something different because everything's changed. That was 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God.
And, you know, your residency came and unfortunately went. Mm-hmm. And so now you're kind of pushing towards new things and you become a host in that time. So let's fill in people on what you've been doing and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So with a lot of things in entertainment, whether you're a singer or instrumentalist, what it could be, we've gone through some slow times, so I ended up becoming a music teacher, which I always wanted to be ever since I graduated high school. So I'm really glad I'm living one of the dreams that I always wanted to do. And now I'm also front desk at a salon with my bestie, who does my hair too. So I am fully booked and picking up gigs as they come, and I'm really grateful to be able to do 3 things at once. But as tiring as it is, I'm here, I'm hanging in.
So where do you teach music and what grade?
I teach at the School of Rock. It's a franchise where they teach drums, piano, voice, and I'm one of the voice teachers. Also, I teach not only one-on-one, but a group of kids in the morning and afternoon, depending on the age. So the ages I teach are between 5 to 16. Wow. And then I get adults for one-on-one every now and then.
Wow.
But yeah,
so you
all
have
ages.
to know how to alter your teaching ways to
Yeah.
make it make sense for different age groups. Because it's not going to make sense for a 5-year-old and then someone who's 13 who thinks they're the next American Idol, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a little different. So have you had teaching experience before this?
Not really. I mean, I did. I did when I was 18. I worked at Gymboree for 3 days, and I realized it wasn't for me because I thought I was going to teach music there, but I didn't. Mm-hmm. So then I left. So I have some, I know how to teach it, I just never had the opportunity to do it, because part of me just didn't, I was focused more on my own music stuff, so I never really dove into it. But after I was like, you know what, I kind of want to go through this. I want to give back to my community because I'm here singing all the time, and part of me always wanted to teach that to the younger generation and just keep music alive. So it makes me feel good that I'm able to do something with fulfillment and help somebody, you know?
Yeah. So you mostly in your music class, do you teach mostly the vocals or do you go through kind of the logistics and the basics and how that goes with singing?
Yeah, so for the class, for the group of kids, I mainly teach the instruments and their stickers on them. And I teach them the parts of the instrument, what they're called, and they get to rotate around each instrument during playtime, which I'll play a song and we'll just plunk the color of the notes to the song. And then I do one-on-one voice, mainly for the one-on-one students that sign up for lessons.
Yeah, so they're a little bit older.
Yeah.
So what have you learned while teaching? Has it taught you some new things that you wouldn't have known prior?
It did, because I went to school for music. I just didn't pursue it to get a bachelor's in it, but I do have an Associates of Arts, and part of the reason why I left was because I'm like, I don't really need this to be where I'm at now, and I always had anxiety with sight reading, with theory. I was never good at it. I was good at my craft. I wasn't good at the math portion of music. Yeah. So while I'm here teaching this to kids, I'm actually understanding it a lot better. Like, I always had the basics down. It's just now that I have to explain it, I'm actually getting it myself.
Yeah, I realize when people ask you certain questions, and you don't realize this when you're a student, you realize this when you've worked in your craft, and you have to break it down. You kind of stand there and you're just like, okay, how do I explain this? And then you realize you're going back to what your professors did, and you're just like, dang, now I'm becoming what I was rolling my eyes at years ago.
Yeah, and I got a little more proficient with the piano. Like, I'm playing chords without looking at them now because I'm a singer first. I taught myself bass during COVID, but I always wanted to play a little, and now I'm able to. I'm not great, but like I'm getting something from it, you know. So I feel really good.
Yeah. So when it comes to singing, what are your goals for that? Right now you've always wanted to teach. You're doing that now, and the Tuscany unfortunately went dark on Thursdays, and that's kind of where her residency was, which is why she no longer does it every other week.
Yeah.
But what are your goals with that? Are you still separating them? Are you just going to combine them? What are you?
I'm combining. I'm taking everything as they come. Right now, I am going to be. Luckily, I have been getting called from Tuscany to do every now and then some pop-ins. And I'm always there every Friday for Kenny Davidson's show, too. And, yeah, I'm taking gigs as they come. And I have 3 lined up, which I have a link on my Instagram if you want to check that out.
Gigs as they come.
And I have a cruise coming up next year. February, I'll be leaving on a cruise for my first cruise contract. But yeah, my goal is to always just be singing.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Especially because of that, you're such a powerhouse that to lose all the traction that you've built and kind of, in other artist terms, settle and then kind of no longer do the art, I don't think is really in your spirits.
It's not at all. That's why I'm like, as much as I always wanted to teach, I was always stubborn because I'm like, oh, I can't because I'm too passionate about music. And I'm like, the thing is, I'm never going to lose music. So just because I'm working here or there, it's still there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, like, get by in life because, you know, sometimes we need to do that. And unfortunately, they don't pay artists enough. And I'm sure you've been through that. All of us have been through that. So it's okay to, I guess, enter another environment where we're not doing our passion, but at least we're opening our eyes to other areas. Like, we're experiencing different things, and that's a lesson in itself. And I'm grateful to have that because I'm never going to lose music.
Right.
Like, I'm still doing it.
Yeah, and as you should. And at least you're not stopping because I feel like there's a lot of people that do stop because they feel like, oh, this is more stable. Because every artist's fearful word. Like, everyone fears that word.
And that's why.
It's stable. So I can just do this at least like it's an all-the-time thing. I'm getting paid, whereas the gig life comes and goes, and people are scared of that. Right?
Yeah, and what's scary is just relying on the gig life because honestly, they can call you the next day and say, hey, it's canceled.
Yeah.
And there goes the check that you wanted for something, I don't know. But I learned to look at it as, like, I would live on gig life because there was no responsibility for me. So I was able to live on the gig life. Now that I do, as I get older, more responsibility is going to come. I need to have something else set. And I'm building that because once I get on the cruise, that's where it's at sometimes to pay. So I don't mind doing those for a few years. As long as I get to keep singing is where I'm happy. I can be at a salon, I can be teaching, but I'm still in the middle ground of music always.
Yeah.
And I'm still putting out my passion, my craft out there.
Yeah, because what you're teaching isn't far off from what you're doing. You're still immersed in it, and you're just kind of sharing your knowledge.
I'm just sharing it.
Yeah, and that's still, I would feel, in your field.
Yeah,
so
and
I
love doing
different.
it.
Yeah.
It's just working a salon is different, but it's fun. Like, I'm learning about, I'm in beauty, and I love beauty, so there we go.
Yeah, and you're there with your best friend. So
my
it's just
bestie.
Something that you're just chilling. Because I feel like, get your hair done often. Either as a blowout, either as a touch-up dye, touch-up bleach,
all the time.
So you're there, girl. So
For
you
real.
chilling.
I am chilling, yeah, because I'm like, if I'm gonna work in a field where I want to work in, and that's always gonna be entertainment and beauty.
Yes,
that's my life.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, another thing I want to talk about is on Strip Tea, one time we were discussing agency, something like that, and you were talking about your experience being in music and how agencies, we were all kind of different at that time on what we did in the field and how agencies play a part in what we do. And you had mentioned how with singers, to the general public, how they will see it is you're successful if you can carry a tune, you not be tone deaf. And I remember making a comment saying well, in general, there are people that cannot sing. There's people that can sing. They can carry a tune. They can carry a note. And it's not hurting anyone's ears. And you had made a comment saying, well, generally that's not always the case, right? When it comes down to if you're a great singer, you'll succeed. Or if you're an okay singer, you only go so far. What are your views on the artists that make it and what it takes to actually be different than all these other artists?
I think, you're asking, what it takes to, succeed
in a way, because a lot of people are probably being okay, well, artists like Whitney Houston obviously can sing, there's no doubt about it. But then you have other artists that can argue, please don't kill me, Taylor Swift, where a lot of people can argue about, whether or not she's a powerhouse singer. And so to you, you'll be it doesn't really matter if you're a great, great, great singer, because you can still really just stand out as this amazing singer.
So I feel what Whitney Houston and Taylor Swift are not the same person, of course.
Right.
But they have a fan base, a strong fan base. They have their own uniqueness. They both have something different that people like. So as long as you are true to yourself, and I think they're both very authentic in their craft, they have great hearts. I don't know much about their personality. I can't speak for a celebrity I never met before, but I know that they have their foundation that they built, and that's what makes you successful, I think. And success is defined in so many different ways, but that doesn't mean reaching fame. Success just means you being happy where you are. They're both successful. Whitney has done a lot before she passed, she's a legend. She has, and so is Taylor Swift. As much as she's not my taste, but she is a legend, and people love that. They both have their authenticity. But truly, you can be the best performer in the city and with the perfect tone, but if your attitude is not it, there's not really much to impress anybody with. I don't know. Yes, voices are crazy, and I always gravitate towards that. But once I talk to that person one-on-one, it's how they are that really gets me. Mm-hmm. And I feel if you have an artist heart, compassion, emotional, just kindness is really what makes you successful too. You just have to have a good attitude.
Yeah, what would your take be on, I'm sure you've witnessed this, where you see yourself putting all this work in, your talent that you have, but you see other people that might not have done as much as you or do all this stuff bypass you or might not have the best attitude. Do you kind of take that to heart, or do you feel that, at the end of the day, you're very confident in what you bring to the table?
I used to take it to heart. Mm-hmm. It took a lot for me to get to where I am now, but I'm glad that I can say that I'm in a position where it has nothing to do with me. I'm putting myself out there in my truest form, as true as I can be, because I know some of us have to adjust to situations, but for the most part, I'm just being myself. And if somebody is threatened by it, that's not anything to do with me. If someone gives me a look or talks to me funky or gives me something weird, I'm not gonna give it back. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna walk away, because that's all I can do. I'm there's no point. But, yeah. As long as you're true to you, I don't think you can go wrong with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know you mentioned at one point where in music, the beauty standards are wild. They're all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think they're changing at all, or do you still feel that you guys have a long way to go?
I feel there's always going to be a long way to go. But I don't think... I would hope that it's minimum. I do notice that, because that's difficult for like me to answer for my perspective, because I've been I've been denied because of the way my body is, but I'm getting different treatment now because I have lost a few pounds, but that's not intentional. That wasn't because, oh, I need to do this for my work. That just happens. Bodies fluctuate, but I have noticed that I treated better the more I meet the standard.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but I would hope that it's minimizing, because I do see all kinds of bodies out there, and that's what drew me to this industry, especially burlesque. Like, burlesque is not about your body. It's about how you make yourself sexy with the body you have. It's the art of tease, and that's what I love about artists and performing. Nobody's copy-paste. Nobody wants to see copy-paste. I don't want to see copy-paste.
Yeah.
So I would hope they're going away from that, because it's apparent people want to see different things.
Yeah, especially with singing, and I still believe this. To me, when I look at singers, I'm listening. Right? I can close my eyes and I can really feel if something touches me or it doesn't. You know, in a more general term, you know, you're kind of like, oh my God, yeah, that person has a voice. Versus someone, you know, you all watch X Factor, American Idol, you hear voice, and you're like, oh, what is happening here? No. You know, and so when it comes to me as performers in that way, as a recording artist or a jazz singer at a lounge or burlesque, anything like that, I don't really focus much on, oh, she's shorter than the girl before.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Right?
It's nothing
it's
you
interesting.
See. It is interesting because
for singing, yeah.
I just listen to what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the band's playing this really well. This isn't halftime. Oh my God.
Yeah, she really hit that note. Like, which is so interesting. So, because when you said that before on a Shrixie episode, that like it's really based on that, which I understand. No one wants someone poorly dressed on stage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have a presentation when you're already a recording artist, things like that. But at the same time, when you're looking at logistics about, you know, hair color, what she did to her hair, what she, you know, the color of her top with matching her pant, like, it's a little interesting coming from, like, a model perspective where I'm trying to make it make sense in the music industry on why, you know, they're so fixated on those things when at the end of the day, making music is about listening, right?
Yeah, I'm like, that's all it is. It's art, and everybody, like, you don't listen to your Spotify and imagine, because there's artists in there that I don't even know what they look like.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think anyone's here listening to their favorite band thinking about, oh, what are they wearing in the studio when they did this? Or, like, what's their makeup like in the studio? How was their hair in the studio?
Yeah.
Like, no one cares, really.
Like,
I mean, if you do care, it's kind of weird.
But especially, or if you don't even know them. Like, if you have, like, a playlist where they're constantly updating new songs and you're just shuffling and you hear one, I'm always gravitating like, oh my God, what is this? Who is this?
Yeah, that's when I
and that's why I like it, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I always want to ask, like, from a singer's point of view, how that must feel knowing that, like, they might not even be listening to anything that you're saying because they're so busy looking at, oh my God, like, her eyelashes are really long.
Yeah, I mean, and I've been told that, and I take it. I'm like, thank you, yeah, they are long. Like, I put them on for a reason, yeah. But because I enjoy what I put on myself. But I'm glad to know that there is people listening to me because I'm told all the time, and that's the most rewarding thing for me is that I'm doing my job right. And because as much as I love music, I do it for my feelings and my emotion. But the fact that I can awaken a memory or touch a heart with it is what matters to me the most. That's the most rewarding thing.
Yeah, that's a true artist.
Yeah.
You know, we do things to strike emotion, to tell a story. And another thing that I want to ask you is, because we talked about this last time, you know, we talked about whether or not you write your own music. And then you had said that you do, but you're not that confident in it. Have things changed a little bit?
I'm proud to say it has.
Oh, wow, okay, yay!
It's just, you know, years go by and, like, you learn so many lessons in growth and stuff. But I wrote a song, like, last week, and I just mixed it myself. I haven't released it yet. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. So in October, I'm shooting to, like, release it. I have no help with it right now. but I'm kind of letting it come to me, and I'm going with the flow of it.
You can't
and that's
force
the most important.
song.
Yeah, and that's what I noticed. I'm like, you know what? This one just came out, so I'm just.
EP soon, guys.
I don't know.
First EP, like maybe, and then a first music video is Celina Sasso. Maybe add in a little bit less.
I don't know.
Yeah, we love it because I know you've been through a lot of different things. So I'm sure that kind of inspired a new wave. You entered a new era of life.
Yeah.
Your birthday was this past June, so you're entering new different times of your life. Your mid-20s.
Year of the rabbit.
Period. But then also I know that you are so passionate about burlesque. If anyone will go to your page, you see that you do a lot of things that really show how confident you are in yourself, your image, your brand, and things that you do. Mm-hmm. So can you maybe really quickly talk about, because I'm sure people see a lot of things when it comes to bondage or lingerie, how that can be very misleading because people take that as something so red, scarlet, right?
So,
like it's...
I don't know how to explain it other than I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I think I've lived a life where I did not like what I saw in the mirror, and that is very unfortunate, and it makes me really sad to think that I used to think like that. And I'm a lot more than my body, truly. I'm an entity at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Like, we're all souls. So what I am doing in those photos is loving myself. Yeah. And I'm posting them for myself. It is not for anyone. Mm-hmm. It is not an idea of that I'm a certain way. Whatever idea you have, you can have it. But that's not who I'm trying. I'm not trying to rise anything from anyone. That's just me saying, like, hey, I don't think there's much you can say to tear me down anymore, because I lived my life like that already.
I love that. I love that for you. It's a moment.
It's a moment.
Now, you also gained hosting. Is there anything that you're learning a lot about yourself and a lot about on-camera work and all of these things while being on a host for a show?
A lot. Because I feel like you even know. But when I first met you, I was very, like, timid, very soft-spoken. Still am soft-spoken. It takes a lot for me to just yell. It's hard. But I feel a lot more comfortable, and I think that just has a lot to do with shadow work, my self-work. Because now I can actually get my points across without thinking too much, like, oh, did I say something dumb? Anxiety follows all of us. But now I can say that I feel really good, and I feel like I can actually do things.
Yeah, it's a new avenue. That's still within your art that you can use your voice.
Right.
Speak your truth.
Entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one more question before we wrap up, but because I know you have a performance with us coming up soon, but I've been asking this on everyone that's just in the hot seat, and the question is there a motto or a philosophy that you live by?
Yeah. What was it? I will say, in the simplest terms, you do you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Celina.
That's me. Yeah, because I thought I had something like longer, because I typed something in my notes app, and I don't know what it was, but I just rather just say you do you.
Yeah.
That's my mantra right now.
Everyone who answers that question, it sums up their interview, and it really comes as a whole, because they hear everyone talk about themselves, they're hearing the story, blah, blah, blah. When they answer that question, it's kind of like, yeah, that does make sense for your whole situation you got going on. And that's your whole personality. You're just doing you and loving yourself in the process and letting that guide you in your decisions in your life. So, What are you singing for us today is the question everyone wants to know.
So, I'm going to do a rendition of My Way, Celine Dion's rendition, originally by Frank Sinatra and all the other jazz singers, but I'll be doing Celine's rendition of My Way.
I've been trying to get her to sing anything Celine Dion on this show because it's insane. Not that you sang Barbra Streisand last time. So it's just, and she wasn't even prepared. She doesn't need to warm up. She's like, oh, I guess I can perform. Then all of a sudden she hits every single note. And it's just like, well, dang, that just really just showcases how much we all suck. No, but you're just like, dang, I thought I was cute when I was singing in the shower this morning, and then we hear sitting, you're like, yeah, well, let me just exit the room. But let them know your handles before we leave. Update them on what they are.
I am Chorus Faye on Instagram, And you can just search Celina Sasso for everything else, like Facebook.
Celina with a C.
Celina with a C. Celina Sasso.
Sassy Sasso.
Sassy
That's
Sasso
how
is what they
you
call me.
remember it.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you so much for coming back on the hot seat.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my god, it was lovely. I'm so glad we just popped right back into your story, your journey, and everything that you're doing. I'm sure this is not the end. This is just you're
It's
just
just
opening
the beginning.
doors.
This is the beginning.
You're opening doors
Yeah.
for yourself and just expanding your knowledge and your reach across everywhere. I mean, I can say around the world because she's going on a cruise, but, you know.
Been around the world and
Anyway, when we come back, you're going to hear that rendition of My Way by Celine Dion by Celina Sasso. So don't go anywhere.
The year is 2980, and we now know that death is not the end. A soul can be extracted from the recently deceased and be used to create a blue liquid called essence. It can bring a person back to life.
We'll get her back.
I hope so.
It's an expensive process used by the rich and powerful. The rest, they do what they can to survive.
Stay right there.
You told me you're hiding from some dangerous people.
Let's knock on the door. I spent the last year searching for the Deep Star. A bounty so big that the entire galaxy could be yours.
People have been looking for the Deep Star for years. It can't be found.
It's because they can't find the distress beacon. I know where it is.
If we find the Deep Star, we could get enough credits to bring Mom back.
Blast off.
Guys, we have company.
You can run, but you cannot hide. Prepare for impact.
I am now authorized to take action.
And now you die.
No!
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
Got Films is a full-service production company that provides motion picture quality content and production services for use in the film and TV industry. Looking for a seasoned crew, high-quality equipment, or other production services for your film, TV, commercial, corporate convention, sports, news, or interview project? Your search stops here. Some of our projects include NASCAR, American Restoration, Pawn Stars, Counting Cars, Top Chef, BattleBots, Forge and Fire, and Street Outlaws. We have also produced over 60 feature films and documentaries. We're ready for all your needs. Whatever your project, whatever your budget, big or small, Got Films got you. GotFilms.com.
The end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll much I'm certain. I lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, where I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I loved, I laughed, I cried. I had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that. And may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Look out for her, support her shows, keep up with the events that she's doing and when she's performing, and follow her. Please, please, please give her all the support she needs for her to release her next EP. Everyone, when we come back from the break, we have one more guest, so don't go anywhere.